Oh wow, just like that. Oh, I'll give this a shot for a couple minutes. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Also, I have a huge echo on my shit. Yo, what's up? I've never live streamed before, so this is all super new to me. I want to give it a shot. Yeah, so I'm just gonna hang out here for a second and see. No, it's definitely not epic. I disagree with that. Oh, cringe. Oh my god, fuck. Hey guys, what's up? I'm just kind of hanging out. I didn't really have much planned aside from overcome the fear of never streaming, so uh yeah. But this is my game that I normally work on. I think I settled on a name for it. Um for a while it was called Billy the Cursed because that's the game that me and my friend worked on. And then when we split, it felt really weird to keep his name because it was, I don't know, it was kind of a weird situation. But then I went back and forth on like 7 or 8 names. Uh, Also, I have no idea if you guys can hear me. I'm pretty sure you can, right? Oh, or how laggy it is too. I don't know how long this takes. If there's like a delay. Let's see. Because I have OBS up here. And yeah, I think you guys should be able to hear me, right? I think so. I don't know idea. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, this is like the ultra rookie stream stuff where I just repeat myself because I have no idea how long the delay is. Yeah, so like I was saying, we had two different names. No, we had more. We had like 5 names that I was throwing around, and Kylie was trying to give me good names, and it never works, dude. I hate naming things. All the game jams are named at the very last like 5 minutes before they upload it. Except for, and then we have the title, so the game jam or cat jam, that one. Actually, no, we named that the night of the last game jam I just did. We just named that one, but if you look at see our Discord messages, it's a lot of like, oh, it should be this cat pun or like this other dumb thing, and yeah, I don't think the game jam names ever matter because no one remembers the name anyway. Oh, that's good. It's good quality. Cool. Yeah, so this I decided on I think I need to like just settle on a name. So I was working on a title screen and I think I'm gonna go with Far Gone Frontier. I know it sort of looks like spacey, like you're going to outer space, but I don't know, I kind of think I have to just settle on it. Do you know what I mean? Because the more I go back and forth on a name, I just I stall for so long, and then on top of that, every time I think about like how Sunseeker did really well, the video for that, and that's like 80,000 views. Like I don't know if I'll ever get a video like that again, right? But I could never direct those people to be like, oh, this is a wish list page for my game because I don't have a name, and that seems like such a dumb thing to get stuck on, right? It looks so good. Oh, thank you. I didn't know you stream. I don't know how to stream. This is my first time ever streaming. So we're just gonna hang out for a little bit. Actually, I have work today. Here was my thought process. I was like, okay, I have to go to my job, but I'm gonna close because I agree to close any nights they want, so that way they like me. So Wednesday I closed, Monday I closed. I'm gonna close Saturday and Sunday. But if I have to close, I was like, I don't have to go in until a couple more hours, so I could stream for a little bit. And if it's going horrible, I could just be like, guys, I gotta go to work. They just called me in. It's a big emergency. The whole dairy department's on fire. I could just make some shit up, because this is nerve wracking for me. So I'll assume I'll get over it though. First thing I saw was mountains in a desert. Yeah, I hope so. I showed it to Kylie, and I think actually I don't think she said this, but I got the vibe that it looked a little like outer spacey, and then Far Gone Frontier makes it feel like you're going into different planets and doing weird stuff. I can launch it too, and then this is what it looks like right now with the fire going and a little bit of camera movement. Hi gamers, what's up? Thanks. Yeah, I hope it comes out okay, but this is all the bare bones. I have the Photoshop up somewhere. Um, I don't know where it was. Oh man, my shit is named so poorly. Will there ever be a Steam page? Yeah, there should be a Steam page, right? I get so scared on doing that stuff. Like, it's the same reason I said I would do a Discord, but I didn't because I was like, I don't understand why would you guys care? I mean, that's the whole point. You make a game to sell it, but I put it off because I think the game just needs to be better, right? So it's like, okay, I don't think the game's fun. Why have a Steam page for a game that's not fun? Just keep working on the game. Um, but yeah, it probably goes hand in hand, right? You probably have to do both. I'm always like second guessing myself every time I work on something. This is what streamers have to do. I can't think and go through my awful named menu stuff. Let's see. It was a logo. Oh no, it's one of these. Which one was it? Maybe icon? Okay, yeah. So this is how where it started. I drew this, and then that's a bad icon. Okay, and then I drew that. So this was the start of it, and then it ended up going into this. So this just goes in and put lighting in. Oh, I should read this stuff. Okay, yeah, and it looks like. Oh, and look, it has plus. Dude, I fucking am so nervous. I can't read. I'm so embarrassed now. Fuck me. Okay. And the look it has plus the name does make it seem like it's set on some distant planet. And if you ever do make the actual lore, that'd be really cool. I like the idea that it was going to. So I was trying to figure out like what makes my game interesting or what could I do that I think is interesting. And I always felt like having a game like this, like it's a roguelike, right? But you're going off into different areas or different environments. I think that'd be really cool. And I know my strong suit is probably drawing different environments, or at least I think that is. I'm definitely not great at drawing characters. So I thought it'd be cool if you could go off and go to like different lands or have something be interesting about that. And then what also struck me is like I could put in little Easter egg things where you're going off like a I guess I could show it, but you're going off into like basically the game jam worlds, but not for like a real level, but just like little intermediate like or not intermediate into like little small sections. So for instance, I was messing around for forever. I don't know if I ever show it in a video, but hold on. We're up the game for a second here. Yeah, to make a Steam page as soon as possible. Yeah, I super agree. I should do that. Like I said, I just get like worried about learning stuff, but no, I should just do it. Okay, so I can go ahead and explain some of this. Although this is all messed up because I was trying to make a streaming page. Okay, portal start. So I have to just take this out so that way I can show you what this is what the because I never really showed the game. Um, okay. So this is where the game is at recently. I have to change the HUD, but I already see I redo stuff so much. So I rechanged this HUD, and then after I did the last game jam, I really like that HUD, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I learned how to do it so much better, if that makes sense. Um, so here's how like the game starts, and you're supposed to go into here and grab a gun. We got the sperm gun, of course, because it's all memes all the way down. And then when you kill him, there should be better animations there. But this fire starts, okay, and then you can rest on the fire. So this was like the my first ever time making a game. I got like, I mean, a really stripped down version of this, right? But I got this in, and I was feeling super happy about it. Just the idea of having like lighting, and then you could like sit down like an interaction button. I know it's really basic, but like that was where I was at about a year ago. So this has always kind of been a core of the game because I never was gonna like redo it. So as you rest and sit down, the cat shows up, and the fire like I was messing with different colors. It looked like blue for a while, which kind of looked cool, but now it looks white because it's supposed to look like something else. But anyway, so you sit down, and the whole premise was like you have to pick like these wishes, and they were gonna do interesting things, and they were gonna go into the lantern. That was always where it came from. My audio is only one ear, in case you didn't know. No, I had no idea. So let's see if we can fix that. I don't know how to fix it though, because I'm dumb. Maybe it's under this. Mono. Does that fix it? Is that better? Am I in the center now? I assume that probably fixed it. Although I don't want to monitor myself. Monitor off. And then I'm not gonna hear anything. Fuck. Okay, that fixed it. All right. I think I'll leave this on actually. Okay, good enough. Yeah, so you had different. Oh no, wait, I have to turn that off. That is messing with me. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be the ultra rookie stream. Okay, this is my first ever. It's gonna be so cringe. I can't. The goal is just to not quit or get too nervous to keep going. So that's the plan right now. What was it under? Oh, I know. It's just looking at it. It's. Oh, advanced. Right. And then turn monitor off. Okay, much better. Okay. Yeah, the monitor messed me up really bad. Hello. Like the premise, have you decided what grants these wishes? Okay, so my idea was that I liked the Binding of Isaac's Devil Deals. That was always where I drew my inspiration for making this kind of game. If I could go back now, I would never do any of this, by the way, because it's way over my head for where I was at as a developer or wanting to learn how to develop stuff. But in my head, I was like, listen, Binding of Isaac, that guy said, didn't Edmund McMillan, whatever his name is, he said he made the game in like 3 months. That he'd made like 20 games before then. But I was like, all right, like maybe that's a premise we can do, and I can work on a game that's a really small version of like Binding of Isaac read mode, right? So the premise of the devil or the cat giving you something here was like a devil deal, where right you're giving up part of your health, but you're getting an ability. Although in the very beginning here, I realized that if I gave health right away, it really sucked because you only had 3 hearts, and going down to 2 at the start of every run felt really bad. So I gave this premise of like, oh, you give up your innocence, or you can back out and not take the deal. I'll click the innocence here, and then it brings up this little contract, which I was so happy when I got working. And the whole premise is that you have to like write your name on it. Or you can write anything on it. You could just draw a bunch of dicks on it, which I'm sure everyone they'll all be drawing a bunch of dicks on it. So that's good. That's what my game is. It's drawing dicks, the game. And then you like sign it, and then the cat like just goes away, and the fire goes back. And these are placeholder art up here. So that was the whole premise. And then your whatever ability you locked onto, it goes into your lantern. And then as you kill stuff, the lantern charges. And that was kind of the premise for the game. And then I wanted to have like different weapons, so I added that in. I think I've talked about that a lot now, but I think you're doing really well for your first ever stream. I wouldn't really know though. Ever watch streams? Oh, that's totally fine. I think it's just more for me. You guys are just in for the ride of me learning how to how to talk and not be super nervous. Which is funny because I used to play music growing up, like and playing live, like in front of people. Although I always hated it, like the worst part of playing music live was always the anticipation before you were on stage. This is kind of the opposite. The anticipation was bad, but then as soon as we hit live, like it's still hard for me, but it's totally fine. Yeah, playing music sucked though. I always liked to record music and do it in my like bedroom, but then as soon as I was live, like I'd be okay live, like I wouldn't mess up that much, but I'd have like the worst like nerves, like oh, it's hard to do, dude. Yeah, so anyway, so that's the whole premise of the devil deal or the cat deal. And then you would sit here and like start a round by resting. And then it's like sort of a wave survival game, I guess you could say. So you're like fighting and trying to get money. So I go back and forth between how the money works. At first, the money was supposed to be just staying on the ground, and you would collect at the end. But I realized it's kind of interesting if the money disappeared over time. So now you're more incentivized to run into battle and like shoot stuff and attack. Also have the TNT, which still does like a lot of damage. Kills like everything actually. Oh, all the audio's off too. Yeah, of the game. Well, that's because most of the audio is filler anyway, so I didn't really want to like. I get tired of listening to it. It's all like freesound.com or whatever. Oh yeah, so like the money disappears over time. So I think that might be a good gameplay mechanic. It could be if it's annoying, I'll remove it. But for now, I think that makes the runs more interesting because it kind of makes you want to like play more dangerously. Say that I appreciate your work. I understand how much time really goes into those projects. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but man, at the start of every game jam, I'm so excited to do it. And then about halfway through, I think I realized that it's way too much. Like I get overwhelmed by it, but I don't know. Like it's I still like now I'm looking forward to it because it's gonna start up again. Um I think this Friday actually they announced it because the way that the Godot Wild Gem one works is that it's the second Friday of every month, but the 1st of December was a Friday, so I think that it counts as the second one coming up, which is kind of crazy because my schedule for work is 40 hours plus as many Sundays as I can get, and I penciled in for every Sunday they offer because I need the money. So I was like, okay, give me. I think it's 4 Sundays, and it's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve both fall on a Sunday, which kind of sucks because you don't get like extra pay. You just get the normal Sunday pay. It's like whatever, but. So I think I'm gonna be working Sunday into the game jam, which is like, you want to have like, as many days off for that one week, um, and then the rest of it I don't care. I'll just work. It doesn't matter. I think the money disappearing over time incentivizes your players. Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it makes it so there's a reason to like play risky. If here's also part of the issue too, right? So the map is kind of big, and I've never really scaled it down. Now I'm in deep on this map where if I scale it down, I have to mess with like code in like 10 different places, try to because there's code that says where enemies are going to spawn, and so if I shrink the map, those enemies will spawn outside the map. So I'd have to just adjust stuff, but because the map is so big, I think I decided like, okay, if the money is just going to hang out forever, you can kind of arch out your little corner of the map and kill enemies slowly as they spawn. Unless enemies are like always drawn to you, but if you have enemies that are moving in a pattern, you can just kind of be like, oh, I'm going to kill enemies and not be very aggressive. And like you'll live and the money's not going anywhere and slowly you'll win the round. And I was like, it's kind of boring, right? Because then you're just hanging out in one little section and you're not really like doing anything risky or cool. And you have this dodge mechanic, like you can kind of dodge through the game and then like get a bunch of money. Or dodge, I'm sorry, I just read something in chat. You can dodge through enemies and get money, and like I think that makes it interesting. I hope it makes it interesting. What's the name of the game? Billy the Cursed, Far Gone Frontier, Far Gone. Yeah, so Billy the Cursed was the original name when I worked on it with a friend, and that was when it was a super small game. And he gave me the go ahead to keep working on it because we sort of split. He was one of the friends that worked on the Cat Jam one. He was the one that didn't really do very much because he was busy, which is kind of his thing. He's a professional coder, right, for his job, so I think it bugs him out to like sit on it for a week or a weekend and work on a game project. So we worked on Billy the Curse way back when it was here, let's see if we can bring up one of those old videos. But I can bring up the old Billy the Curse stuff. I think I talk about it in this video. Get it muted. I don't need to hear myself. That'd be cringe. Yeah, he made these games, right? Oh, I don't talk about Billy the Cursed in here. But he was one to get me into doing Godot. So me and him worked together on the project, and then we worked for like 2 weeks. And I'm a hyper-focused person. Not hyper-focused, but like I obsess. So Lithium was sort of dying, and I was like, all right, I want to work on this other project with this other friend, because without either of those people, I don't know how to code. This is back in 2022, I think. Late 2022. And so as I'm like reaching out to this friend, Andrew, the one who worked on Billy the Cursed, I'm like way overwhelming him. I'm like, oh my God, I have this thing I want to do or that thing I want to do. I drew up a bunch of enemies, and I still have a lot of those files. And I remember it was my birthday actually that year, and I woke up to a message from him on Discord. He had no idea, but he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, I don't think this is worth doing. I think we should do other things." Or he's like, "Good luck on it. You can work on any of the project." And mind you, I didn't know how to code anything, so I was thinking to myself, "There goes another project. I just wasted like 2 or 3 weeks working on something, and it's gone. It's down the drain." But as that split happened, he was like, "You can work on any of the art you want, or you can work on the game." But I'm going to work on something else. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to start over. I have all this art. But I didn't want to name it Billy the Curse because it felt like it was his project or our old project. And also I didn't want to steal his idea because he had a lot of these basic ideas he wanted a game where you're picking curses and the game gets harder. That was his plan. So you have wave survival basically, and then at the end of each wave, you make the game a little bit harder. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting idea. And I didn't want to just copy it because then I feel like, all right, now I'm just like stealing this guy's game. Like I know he said he didn't want to work on it, but that doesn't mean I can just jump in and do everything he wanted to do. And also I didn't really have that vision either. I had my own sort of vision. So from there I was like, let's just take the lantern idea, add that into the game, and then make it so when that thing was going to be a curse, Billy the Cursed, and now it like goes into the lantern and the lantern helps you in some weird way, which I know is a little more generic, but I felt like that was the way to go. And so now the game has 2 different names, right? It has Billy the Cursed, and then it has this other name, Far Gone Frontier, which I just came up with. But I think as part of just moving on from the past and starting my own thing, I think I just have to commit to having this name. I do like Billy the Curse, so that was a good name, but now it doesn't really even fit So just in code, it'll always be Billy, I guess. It'd be really cool if there were enemies that take advantage of you if you have less innocence, like maybe ghost enemies that have a higher chance of possessing you or something like that stuff. Yeah, I think that'd be super cool. Hey, Nail, what's up? Yeah, you're watching the cringe stream where I learned how to be cringe for the first time ever. I'm doing it. We're sewing out over here. Uh, yeah, I think that'd be a cool idea too. I also thought it'd be interesting if you had like a different ending or different enemies or bosses because you had innocence, quote unquote. Because right now it's just a binary thing. When you start off the game, you have innocence, and then as soon as you do one cat deal or one devil deal, then it goes away. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting if you got to the end and yeah, you had like a special ending because you basically are taking on more challenge because you're never doing any of these cat deals. And the cat deals, hopefully, if they're done right, uh, they should make your playthrough easier. You should be getting like more abilities onto your lantern and stuff that is going to help you do more damage or get more money or heal. I think that's part of them. That's one of them. Yeah, but so anyway, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I try to keep friendly with everybody too, because like all that Billy the Curse stuff was kind of messy. But thanks, now I appreciate it. Uh, yeah, it was kind of messy, but I just try to like stay. I don't know. It's like it's hard to navigate all this stuff because you want to work projects with friends, and it can be really fun to work with them. But um, I feel like a lot of times I maybe go too hard, get too serious in it. So I think that's why game jams worked out so well for me, because now it's just I can go as hard as I want, and there's no one that's gonna be like, "Wow, you're insane. I don't have time to do all this stuff." Yeah, it was a good finding game jams was a good discovery, I think. Yeah, different endings and bosses depending on how innocent you are. I would actually give players a reason. It would actually give players a reason to stay weaker or become stronger. Yeah, I think so. Plus, it gives it like an incentive to be like. It feels like the cat deal is like something you shouldn't be doing. And I want to lean into that probably a little bit more. So, I've played with the idea of changing. Um, so I'm trying to figure out the identity of the game, right? I think part of that Far Gone Frontier is like finding weird or interesting, like I don't want to say dimensions, but different places or things that are happening. So I was playing with this idea that oh, I skipped my first ever super chat. Oh my god, $10 or 10 CA. I don't. I'm such a fucking noob, dude. I don't know how to be a streamer. It's a rookie stream. I don't know what I'm doing. But if that's a donation, you're insane. You shouldn't donate to me ever. But I appreciate it. What the fuck? That's the nicest thing in the world. Jesus Christ. Uh, so anyway, like I said, um, I was playing with this idea where when you sit down and rest, you like basically go into a different dimension. So this is just like a test idea. This is not like what I think it should look like. Watch it not work at all. I don't even know if I turned it on. I think I turned it on, but it was something a little bit like this, right? So yeah, so it brings you out and it's like, okay, we can take you and put you in a different spot. So all I'm doing here is taking the Z index of the player and the cat, raising them above, and then we can put anything behind it. That's Canadian dollars. Yeah, I'm I'm an idiot. Thank you so much, Salad Stick, for the donation. I don't know how to. Yeah, I've never got a donation before, so there you go. That's my first ever getting a donation. Um, oh, every time I alt tab, it does this. God damn. Okay. Oh, I should probably mute my Discord. That's all right. Yeah, that was my idea too. Higher Tier Mortal, that the car is like sort of tempting you. The cat, I mean, the cat is sort of tempting you. So I kind of like the idea that like it'd be interesting to draw like basically I don't want to say hell, but something that's like kind of like crazy in the background here. Because right now it's just a white background. That's kind of interesting. You know, it reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like when they go into like the place where they do the equivalent exchange where he turns his arm into like a big dick or whatever. Yeah, you know, he dies, he loses all his body parts. Yeah, that this reminded me of that. I don't really want that necessarily, but I was just trying to see, can we just take the characters and like push them to another dimension, and how does that look and how does it play out? Um, I think I have it where it's gonna go entirely back as well. Let's see. Yeah, so it returns you back and then goes. So I think that's interesting. It's not like in a final state at all, but like I'm like, all right, that's somewhere I could take it. And then that let me go like, you know, what'd be really interesting is if we use some of the game jam assets to do other crazy places. Either whether it's just for story reasons or for fun reasons. I think that's kind of a unique thing that that I can do particularly that other like maybe developers can't, because I have this like catalog of weird games. like Sunseeker's backgrounds or the pumpkin game, right? So far the plan is just to stream so I get used to it, high tier mortal. So no, there's no explicit plan. I have to go to work today at I have to be there for 11 because I'm a dairy manager and I have to order some hood milk before they tell me it's too late. So I have to do that today, and then but any days I have to close, I'm thinking it'd be kind of interesting to jump in here and talk to you guys if there's people to talk to. Um, but maybe Wednesday or something like that. One day a week would be kind of lame, but yeah, maybe Wednesdays I could do it. Usually what I try to do is record a short in the couple hours I have before I go to work, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything to talk about for shorts right now because I kind of just did the game jam, and this game doesn't have any like ultra new content right now. Um, I guess there's this gun, but this gun is really boring. I haven't talked about it yet. It's just like a machine gun, and this is before I decided that guns should be more interesting. So this just shoots. Yeah, it's like there's not much to it. One day a week, perfect. Yeah, that might be what I do. Especially if I have things to talk about and things to share, because I'm sure I'll get more comfortable doing this over time. But like, yeah, right now I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I would have anything to say every day or every other day. Whew. Where was that though? I can't remember. But yeah, so I have to work today, and then, oh yeah, and then the game jam starts this week, this Friday. And I don't really know. Can I bring up my? Let's see. Let's see. My game jam. Oh, let's move this, I guess, just in case there's some weird stuff. Oh, it's me. Yeah, that is me. I'm just gonna bring up the Godot Wild Jam thing to see, because usually they do submissions, so it'd be interesting to see what they have right now for submissions. Oh, I think right here. Yeah, this was the no, that's old, right? Down here maybe. Oh, thanks, Purple Boy VR. I appreciate that. All your games I've seen are really satisfying. Have really satisfying game feel. I hope they do. I think some of them are better than others. Xeno Killer 6. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always in the state of learning. And then some people message me being like, "Oh yeah, how do you make your game fun?" And I'm like, I don't know. How is my game fun? I don't think so. Like, I think most of my games are like, "Oh, maybe there's something here, but it's not quite like." Oh, sorry, I thought I was echoing. Yeah, give a small suggestion. I'm here for it. Whether it's stream or game wise, or it might be, you know what? I have there's so many suggestions that I've had that I think are really true. Like a lot of people think I should do controller support, and I just am too lazy to do it. That's one that I feel like I should do that right now before the game jam starts, so I learn how to do it. Will I make tutorials? I think about making tutorials, but I don't really know if I'm good enough to make anything. Here's one tutorial I should make, because people ask me, and I don't think it's very hard. It almost makes you feel like, what's the point of doing it? But people want to know how I do lighting in games. But it's so easy. Like I just kind of mess around with some sliders until I think it looks okay. Um, and like on my Patreon, I give all the art for all the games, and I feel like most of them, if you just look at the art, you're like, oh yeah, that's how he did it. He just puts in like a really basic light 2D and then makes the level dark, and then, and then everything kind of makes sense. But I guess there's small things to it, but I could do something like that, I think. But in terms of coding, yeah, I do so many bad coding techniques that I don't think I would be good at that. And then for art, like my art is like I draw stuff and it looks bad until it looks good. So they don't have like a good system of like, oh yeah, this is how you draw a character or anatomy. It's like no, not at all. Like I just keep drawing until I'm not crying anymore because it looks so bad. Like these mountains, I did like over and over again. I was like, yeah, this is bad. And then eventually, I think I looked up what I'll do is I'll find examples online. So I think I just went onto Google and was like pixel art mountains. On my search history is all pixel art X, pixel art Y. Let's see if I can find this. So pixel art mountains. Let's see. I'm trying to see the ones that I looked at. Like this art is so good. Like I don't, yeah, I would never teach people how to do art because I couldn't do half as good as this stuff. Um, There's like one in particular I remember seeing that like it had like a kind of a pattern going diagonally down. I'm trying to learn digital art at the moment. I can code fine in Game Maker, but my assets always end up using Asset Pack online. Um, Salad Stick, thank you for the $2 Canadian. I'm learning. Thank you. How'd you learn to do pixel art, make art look good? I don't think it does look good a lot of times. I just push through. So like I said, but I'll find art. Um, I'll find like you always have to find examples, right? Um, that's the best way to do it because otherwise, how are you gonna draw something you've never seen before? So like right here, this is a good example, right? So my art doesn't look like this. Um, can we get like a zoomed in one? But do you see how it like goes diagonal from top right to bottom left? Like, oh yeah, this one right here. This is perfect. I think that looks super cool. And so when I went to go do mine, I was like, oh, like, look, it has like a diagonal path. Like it kind of goes from top left to bottom right. Maybe it's the opposite direction, but still. And I was like, I don't follow it exactly, but I just try to find little things like that. I think pixel art is one of the few things you can do that with. And if you're really, really like ultra stuck on pixel art, what you can do is you can cheat a little, which I don't, from time to time you can do this. You just like print screen like that and then put it in. And I know it's huge, but you can go like this and make it smaller. And I'm not saying you trace it, but you can get like a way better feeling for like how things should shape out, right? You know what I mean? So you can kind of like do a little. I mean, that probably works with every type of art, but I think that's kind of a good way to go if you're if I get ultra stuck on something, I'll do that. Where I'm like, I'll try to draw what I think looks good. I'll alt tab to what I wanted, my target, and it's like not even close. I don't understand the shapes. I don't understand the colors. And then sometimes I'll just be like, all right, let's just bring it in. Like, what can we do if we just trace this out, even if we never use it, but just to see what made that work versus what my thing was doing. You should add a guitar you can play, and you can play it when you're on the ground. Yes. Oh my God. It's like you're reading my mind, Purple Boy VR. This is exactly the mechanic that I want to work on, that I want to do a video for. And I felt bad because I just did a music game jam. It was unrelated. I always felt like I wanted to do this, which is why the character's playing guitar in the beginning. I really like the idea that you could get sort of like sheet music as you played the game. Like you could learn songs like an ocarina at a time, and then you play them at the campfire, and it basically gives you a small buff. You only play one of them or whatever. It gives you a small buff until the next time you sit, or for the rest of the level. I feel like that'd be such a cool idea. And then on top of that, if we could take you to different dimensions when you play the song, like when you finish a song in Ocarina of Time, it replays it, but with the correct rhythm and tempo and the full band behind it. I feel like it'd be so cool to do that. And then like how the cat right now takes you out. Did I sit down yet? I think I did. Yeah, how the cat right now takes you out of the world, and I just put you in some random white background. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to put you like in an open like forest or fields, or to put you in like Sunseeker's world, just while you play the song, and then give you a small bonus like you move faster, or yeah, like this thing here. I feel like that'd be super cool and give my game a lot of character that it probably is missing right now. Also, I don't like the idea that we're constantly in such dark, gloomy environments. I know that's just because I made one level and I've been in that level for so long, for like a year now. I'm just ready to move on from it. I'm thinking about making a 2D platformer for my final year college project. I know the basics of programming as far as college taught me. I want to do Unity and C#. Any advice? I've never programmed anything that's not Godot. This is my first time learning how to code. For 2D platformers, would you be thinking isometric, or would you be thinking like a side scroller? Side scrollers are easier, I think. It lets you get more gameplay and sort of figure out I want to say what's fun, but I don't know. You're not going to get lost in like the technical part of it, I think, as much. Um, yeah, I never used Unity, so there's probably a million tutorials on how to do stuff. So I think you'd be in good hands. I can't think of any like strong advice. Okay, so a lot of things on platformers. There's like three, I think, ish things that every platformer has that makes them feel good, and this probably carries on between every platformer. And when I don't do them, I feel dumb. I didn't do one of them in the Pumpkin game in Hollow Knights. And those things are you want coyote timing, where you run off an edge and you can still jump. You want so what's it called? When you jump right before you hit the ground, it remembers that input and then you jump again. God, I forget the name of that one, but it's just there's these two core things, and basically it makes your game feel better, and everyone thinks that they exist, or no one knows that they exist in every platformer, but they do. Meaning that like when they're not there, you notice it, but when they are there, you're like, no, I'm just good at games. Like, no, you ran off the edge and didn't jump, but the game knew that and it helped you out. So I think doing those things, if you can find time to do those, it'll make the game way more fun. And yeah, then a lot of the other stuff, it's hard to explain, but let's see. Purple. The thing is into the radius, uses motion controls to play guitar. Okay, I don't know what that part is. Positive. You can hold a button like E and then move your mouse around 1 4. Oh, we're talking about stuff. Okay. Have you ever had thoughts? Have you ever thought of a mortal slash state of mind function? The game gives you lonely. The game gives lonely vibes, so maybe players' mental health would decrease, and playing the guitar makes it better or slow down. That's interesting. Yeah, that could be interesting. It's weird because I think of that sort of like I view it more like I want to positively enforce the player for playing a song, as opposed to negatively uh, affect them for not. If that makes any sense. So that would be like, oh, like you haven't played any songs at the campfire, your game's harder, and you're sort of losing sanity. Versus I want it to be like, oh, you're at a normal state of being, and playing the song is like, oh, this song like heals you for a heart. You can only play one song whenever you per level or whatever. But it sort of incentivizes you to remember to play a song. And then I think that functions into a lot of what makes roguelikes good, where a lot of roguelikes have a lot of moving parts that you can easily forget to do. But if you remember each one of them, like Isaac can kind of be that way, right? Where there's like always one secret room and one super secret room. And if you're just like playing through the game and not thinking too much about it, you might be losing out on things. But if you're like ultra focused and like diving into every little nuance, you're going to get all the like small edge case like hearts or coins or keys. Um, yeah, if that makes any sense. So I definitely want to like positively enforce the player. Are you going to do any collabs with YouTubers in the near future? I definitely would consider doing collabs with YouTubers. I thought, okay, I had a couple cool ideas I thought for collabs. Um, I see this guy named Sundercore Dev all the time. I don't know why he doesn't have 10 times the subs. I think his game looks insane. Every time I see it, I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, and he's great at talking. He's great at making videos. And so I've messaged him once publicly, being like, yeah, we should collab on something. Oh, he's right there. Look at that. Okay, so I thought about this for someone like you, or it could be other people, but I thought about doing a video where I talked about a certain aspect of my game, right? Like, oh, this I like this part of how can I explain it? So I've done a video on guns. It'd be interesting to do a video on guns and then ship it to another YouTuber working on their own game. It doesn't even have to be that similar, but get their take on how they handle guns, what they think makes a good gun, and maybe show some of their stuff. Do a little bit of like cross pollination there, where it's like, okay, yeah, cool. Look at this game. I feel like that'd be a really fun thing to do. And also like we can both benefit from it. Like yeah, it feels like there's so many people making cool games. Why not connect like that? Um, yeah, Sonic Dav, it's super cool to see you in here. Wow, I can't believe that. Now I feel embarrassed because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make good content for cool content creators like you, and then I'm just rambling over here like a dummy. But yeah, I think that would be a fun thing to do. And then the other idea I had for so the game jam stuff stresses me out so much because like people will reach out to me on Discord, not people, a couple people, right? One or two people. I'm not that popular, kind of weird. Okay, so one or two people will message me being like, "We got to work on this project. Let's do a game jam together. It's gonna be really fun." So I'll say yes because I'm a very agreeable person. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. I can't wait. And then as the day gets closer, it's like when you agree to go to like someone's house, you're like, I don't know you. This is gonna be weird. I don't know where's your fridge. Like everything just feels like it's so stressful. So I always back out. I did the one game jam with these friends that I went to basically high school with because I know them. I talked to them, and it wasn't perfect. Right, there were definitely ebbs and flows. So now I imagine like, all right, the imperfections there with that game jam. Now apply that to like total strangers. Like, oh geez, like that gives me like so much anxiety. So doing game jams with strangers without even like talking to them first feels a little like scary. MDF, I have really been wanting to get into game dev, but I can't find the motivation to get into it. To get into it because I can't find any way to how you start. Oh my god, dude, I'm so nervous. Okay, because I can't find any way to start. How did you do it? And do you have any tips to get into game dev? Watch YouTube videos and just jump in. That's what I would say. And then everyone's gonna say start small. I'm gonna still say start small. You're not gonna start small because starting small is boring. And so go do fun, awful stuff. You'll never finish the project, and that's fine. Be like one of us. Okay, we make the project. Didn't Thundercore Dev? Didn't you remake your game like 17 times? Like I feel like there's no way around it because you want to make something fun, but fun things are usually kind of not big, but yeah, they tend to be a little more complex. So, but just don't worry about it and just keep going. Um, I think you could pick any engine too. You could probably go with yeah, maybe. You go with Unity or Godot. Uh, I picked Unity. I mean, I picked Godot because um, I thought I was gonna have a friend that could be like, anytime I had coding questions, I would ask them stuff. And for the most part, Andrew's been perfect for that. I mean, no, for 100%, he's been perfect for that. But no, I mean, but they're both probably fine. Or Unreal. Unreal kind of scares me because it seems intimidating, but it's probably not that bad. Yeah, I get that. I've done a few game devs, or maybe even game jams. When it's with someone you don't know, it's hard to communicate. Yeah, it's hard to communicate, and then on top of that, like half of the game jam becomes like, I want to make sure that you're like that we're on the same page. I don't want to steal, man. Like, 'cause a lot of times I'll steal people's like, we're in the game jam and I have like a strong conviction for something, and no one's really saying anything. It's like, okay, so I think the game should go this way, and it's kind of quiet. It's like, and then this, and then it's kind of quiet, and then this. So now you're like three things deep, and no one's really said anything, and you don't even know if they agreed to like the first thing. So then you feel like you're bullying everyone else out of their ideas. So there's a lot of like, I think we should do this, unless you think that would be better. So that it feels like the game isn't like, I can really make crazy decisions when I do it myself. I can be like, I can make, if I think something's not fun, I can upend it immediately. I can throw code away because I don't care. It was my code. But when you're working with people and something's not fun, it feels really scary to tell them that. And then on top of that, it feels really scary to throw their code away and be like, no, this is how it's going to be. This is how the fun stuff is. Um, yeah, so team stuff is really hard. I won't say it's political, but it is like, you have to consider people's feelings a lot. People will say things like, I like the truth. Just tell me how it is. I don't want to like, don't sugarcoat it. But to be frank, that this bullshit, like, because I'm like that too. Like, if someone's like super frank with me, like, you'll definitely hurt my feelings. And then I'm like, oh shit, like now I don't really want to work on this project. I feel like my feelings are hurt. So when people say that, I'm like, you don't feel that way. No one feels that way. No one can like, resist it. It's just, that's how it is, man. It's really tough. Um, yeah, a lot of it is how you talk to people, at least for me. And then we're in this weird situation, like with the Cat Jam one. I felt like me and Chris got to an understanding where it was like, we were 90% there for what the game design should be. And his 10% was going to take it into a way more complex direction. And I remember being like, Andrew was the only other guy. And I'm like, okay, oh my God, there's so many comments. Sorry, guys, I should read some of these, but I'm like doing story time mode. Okay, let's just finish the story. So anyway, me and Chris are like right about to finish like our game design. We're like 3 or 4 days in, but we're about to be like, this is where the game should be. Let's just make content for it, right? And he wants to make it like, in my opinion, way more complex than I think we can do for a game jam. And so I'm trying to appeal to him, being like, I don't think this is going to work it's going to be a little complex, like little small stuff like that. Oh, Bobby, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, so I'm trying to like talk him down from that. Um, at the same time, I have to sort of like steelman my argument, like, oh, I think that the game's going to work this way or that way. And then I do this move where I sort of appeal to Andrew, who hasn't like contributed much to the game jam really at all, which is, it's not his fault. He was just busy, right? And I go like, hey, Andrew, like, you've done game jams before. Isn't the game going to be a little complex if we have 4 different bullets? They're all doing different things. You have a spread shot. This shot does this thing. That shot does that thing. And his response like killed me. His response was like, I don't know what the game is anymore. And I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Very quickly, me and Chris turned on him. And we were like, what do you mean you don't know what the game is? Like, have you been paying attention? So that was so frustrating because I thought in that moment, I was like, listen, he's done game jams. He's going to know what it's like. He's made a game where it's like you have 3 or 4 ideas and each one of them was its own game, but you've merged them together and now your game's garbage. Like, he's done stuff, or at least I think he experiences that. So in that moment I needed him the most, he wasn't there for me. Oh, it really sucked. But yeah, and then I did that moment with Chris where I was like, okay, I'll do whatever you think is fun, but I want it to be your vision. So go 100% along with it. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna fight you basically. Like, so I'm not gonna say yes, that sounds good now, and then a day later I'm gonna keep pushing for my idea. Like, let's just go for your idea, and whatever it takes to make your idea a thing, we'll pursue that. And we did, and then I could feel I could feel the emotion sort of shift in our conversation, where now it felt like anytime we were going to do something, we were running it by him. And I don't think that feels good, because then you're like, oh, I think like the walk speed should be a little bit slower. Chris, what do you think about that? And it's like, guys, it's not my game, it's our game. Like, he felt like he was responsible for every decision. And I was like, oh, that's kind of bullshit, because like we were right there with the same game until the end. And then at the end, yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, this is a Cat Jam. If that wasn't clear, this is the game jam we just did. Sorry, I went down that rabbit hole. We were just talking about collabing with people. Okay, how did your YouTube channel kind of break through? Any tips? Because I've been making devlogs. I feel like Nardev. I feel like I've seen your stuff like tons of times. I thought you were really, like way bigger YouTuber than me. Am I like crazy? Hold on, let me bring up your thing. Nardev, right? No. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. I'm thinking of someone else. But how did I break through? I don't know. I just sort of did YouTube videos and got kind of lucky, I guess. Um, I like your pixel art though. I think this is why I thought you were a way bigger person because I think this looks really good. I would say just keep going with it. Yeah, I guess we could pull one of these videos up. 3 minutes long? Yeah. Hold on.
Hey guys, welcome to another Ice Fighter devlog.
I don't know how loud this
Last
is.
week I've mostly been polishing up the game because soon the demo will be public. It's not all ready yet, I still got work to do, but I did the hard stuff like cleaning up the UI, fixing.
This video editing is super good, by the way. You're having like these menus fly up on screen.
I still got work to do, but I did the hard stuff like cleaning up the UI, fixing most of the bugs, and making a trailer. That's right, Ice Fighter's gameplay trailer is out on my YouTube and on the Steam page, so go check it out after this video. Alright, so the UI. I'm really proud of how it turned out. It's a huge improvement.
I love this UI. Yeah, oh my god, dude, your UI is way better. Dude, look at my shit UI. Wait, how do I watch your videos to learn how to do UI now? Hold on, let me play my awful. I've redone my UI like 3 times. When's the Discord server coming? I don't know. Someone make it for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so fucking terrified of doing all this stuff. Look at this UI, then look at yours, dude. Yours is insanely good. Hold on. Holy shit. This looks so good.
From what the old UI looked like. It doesn't take up a lot of the screen anymore, and the pixel art just looks.
I've been a coder for years, and now I'm breaking into art and animation, which I find extremely difficult to do. How do you break down character animations? All your stuff looks gorgeous. How do I break down character animations? I guess, so I probably find a rhythm for some animations. Like, I'll do the same idle techniques for every idle. Idle's kind of boring, though, because you can kind of skip idle for most characters. But yeah, you learn some tricks, I would say. And then I'd rather do animations for things than people, because I know my strong suits, and I'm not strong at anatomy. Anatomy's really hard for me.
Looks great, in my opinion. I really.
You can do like little cheat things like this too, because I think, yeah, what Nardev's doing here, I would try some games, yeah, for sure. What Nardev's doing here though is like this is like kind of what I do, where you don't have arms, but you have the hand on an axe, and then you can just animate it, probably in code, right? Doing this.
Not of the screen anymore, and the pixel art just looks great, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does look good.
I really recommend this video by Brendan James Greer. It helped me a lot.
Okay, there you go. I gotta watch that video because I don't know how to do UI stuff.
So speaking of pixel art, I finally changed the look of the weapons. The flamethrower finally looks somewhat like a flamethrower and not like this. Ew. And I changed the magma ball launcher to look like a grenade launcher, which is much more fitting. I feel like you could recognize what these weapons do without even using them, unlike the old designs. The thing I worked on next.
I wish I knew how to do this, like where you're placing stuff down. Or like the tile stuff. Yeah. Is this in Godot, Nardev? I should probably known that by now. I also follow Orange Pixel. Let's see. Is this like a pixel art kind of guy? Orange Pixel? Oh my god, this video is huge. 500,000. I've never seen this guy. It seems like he makes insane stuff.
Hey, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel and welcome to another video. In 2012, 13, in 13 I created Heroes of Loot, one of my fastest selling games ever. And then I created a sequel.
Oh fuck, guys, he's got a Discord too. Everyone's got Discords. Although this guy is like killing it, so that makes sense.
Which was not my fastest selling and not even my best selling game. Now I'm making a third part in the series. Am I crazy? Is it worth it? Is it stupid? What am I expecting from it? What are the numbers? Because I know you like numbers. Let's talk about those things after the intro.
I'll have to check him out. Does he do like tutorial stuff, or does he do like... I do like when they talk about numbers, because like you kind of think about that when you work on a game. You're like, is this going to sell at all, or is, what should I expect? I didn't really answer the animation question, Fonzie. So what I'll do is I'll draw like a walk cycle that I really like, and then whenever I go to do another one, I'll sort of reference it. Not every character, obviously, every character is going to be different, but I think it's good to be able to go back and look what you did before and see if it works. I'll start fresh sometimes, but it's the same thing I did where I'll take a screenshot of mountains and bring it in. Because if I'm getting super lost or frustrated with something, I'll just look back to what I did before, what made that work, and then just keep grinding it out. Also, for animating, I would say don't. There's like a couple animation techniques that you should always follow, right? Where you overextend. There's like I can't explain them all right now, but there's like it's like the rules of animation. I think those are really important. There's videos on them. There's a great what's the term? Not TED Talk, a GDC talk with like is it Skullgirls? It's like this woman who talks about her experience drawing and like how she drew less frames to make things look snappier. And it's such a good video. I feel like so many people have seen that one at this time. Yeah, squat, stretch. Yep, all that stuff, follow through. Yeah, it's stuff that like I'll forget, and then I'll be like, all right, let me figure out how to do this again, and sort of reteach myself. Also, a lot of times when some animation's not looking good, or it's just looking like it's not correct, I'm forgetting those. That's usually what happens. Might have to leave in 40 minutes or so, sadly. Hopefully, I don't get this. Hopefully I don't. This is fun. I never watch streams because I never get to interact with the streamer because I've never seen. Yeah, I am new to streaming, so this will be, yeah, I'll talk to everybody here. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. All right, I guess I'll check this guy out. Let me give him a sub. And then, where's our other guy here? Let's give you a sub too, buddy. Nar Dev. Yeah, I'm going to check your stuff out. Just keep going with the YouTube stuff. You got this. Something someone told me for thumbnails. I'm bad with thumbnails, honestly. Will I try 3D at some point? Yeah, here's the problem. I feel like I could try 3D, but I would need to do like a week or two learning it before a game jam, because I don't think I could learn it while a game jam's happening. I think I'd be way too frustrated trying to figure out the technical side of it. It'd be really cool to do like an FPS or something, or do another platformer, but it's 3D, and then you guys have to just, you know, watch me do it, because it's technically different, even though it's just another platformer. What time is it? I love making games, but the only thing I'm good at is visuals, because I usually make games in Rec Room, which is like Roblox but VR. Do you have any good visual coding softwares? No, I don't think so. I just draw everything in Photoshop and then put lighting on it in Godot. That's like all I do for all my art. What was I gonna say? Oh fuck. Oh yeah, wait, and then what about, we didn't look at, oh look, I searched it before. Look at that, Sundercore, if you're still here. Yeah, how come this, oh my god, 3,000, you should have 10, 20,000 views on this.
Sundercore. Recently, I decided I need to put all my development focus into making...
This game looks insane. Dude, this just blows my mind. Yeah, we gotta work together on something. Guess I shouldn't mute it.
Knowing which destructible objects have been destroyed in the room is important for continuity. The specific details for objects also need to be saved. Things like knowing whether or not a chest has been opened, and what artifact is in the chest, what the rarity of an artifact is.
Sorry, I get
These are
distracted
important
here.
details needed to accurately respawn an object. So how would you go about doing that in code? So the system I've created...
Yeah, I've watched this all before. It's, I don't know, everything about this just seems so impressive to me. Yeah, it's so cool. I can't believe that, like... Yeah, we should work together on something then, dude. Yeah, follow this guy. Like, I feel like you can watch me for some goofy, dumb stuff, but this game is actually going to be a good game. Like, every time I see your stuff, I'm like, fuck. So wait, is the demo actually ready? Like, and out? I've watched the thing, but I don't remember anything because I'm a bad person. I know my brain sucks. But, like, Sundercore, can you actually go play the demo, or what's the situation? Oh, look, you joined the Discord. You have a Discord? What the hell? Won't be ready for a while. Okay, I hear you. I feel the same way. I won't have a demo for a long time too. I remember you talking about like you want to polish up your, basically, is it the first level you'd say? 2 or 3 months? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying that like you were going to polish it up for a lot and that for a long time and then have it like all ready all at once, right? So yeah, have we even seen, I feel like I've seen bosses from you, but it's been a while since I've seen them. I'm really interested how you do bosses. Like the one thing I want to make, the thing I want is to The one thing is I want to make a dev log or a progression on me starting to code by since I'm a younger, my voice is higher pitched. So, oh, you're fine. I don't think anyone really cares about that. The only thing I would say is don't do, oh, awesome. Dude, I'm gonna just, whatever your boss you do, I'm stealing it, just so you know. So make it good so that way I have good bosses. Purple Boy VR. Don't worry about your voice being high or anything like that. I would say what's gonna happen is once you first start doing YouTube content and talking, you're not gonna like it and it won't be your best. But those are like how you, what would you say? Like you're breaking in, like you're breaking in your voice and you're trying to figure out how you're gonna sound, how you're gonna deliver things. I can't listen. My old stuff is horrendously bad. Like, oh my God, like the old they were TikToks, but they're also YouTube shorts. And I'm so meek and afraid to talk. Everything I say is like, "Hey guys, I'm working on this game here, and I hope it doesn't offend anyone." Like that's literally how I talk. I'm like literally afraid. Um, but then, so what you want to do is just get that out of the way, because the only way to like deal with that is just talk through it and to put out the content. It's why I'm doing this stream now, right? Because I've never done any streaming before, and I get nervous, and I was like super scared to hit the go live button. But it's like, oh, let's screw it. Let's just see if we can go live and have fun. And I didn't think like Sundercore Dev was gonna be like, you know, trolling me in chat or whatever. But it's great. It's awesome. No, I was kidding. But like, yeah, it's I think it's just important just to overcome it and just put in the time to learn it. The only thing I would say is don't do a lot of people do like the AI generated voice over thing. I just wouldn't do that for two reasons. One, you're not going to develop your own voice, but then two, I think you can get like, I've seen on like a subreddit for r/partnered YouTubers that they'll get like shadow banned or just straight up banned. I don't know if I believe in shadow banning that much, but they'll get like straight up banned or removed. So like, it just doesn't seem like something I would pursue. I would just talk and just be you. Yeah, speaking is hard. It's super hard. Hey man, what do you think about someone getting their game noticed in such a huge market, big or small developers making good games? Yeah, I get afraid of that too, personally, myself. I don't know, there's just so much great games out there, and I think the best way to do it is to, you have to do like I don't think you have, maybe not YouTube necessarily, but you have to do some kind of like social media something. Yeah, you have to like promote and talk and get out there, because I think it's kind of a disservice to yourself if you work for 2 or 3 years on a game and don't show it to anyone ever, and then just put it on Steam. Because I think that the saying is you need like, I don't know what the number is, but it's like 10,000 wish lists is like will predict that your game will do well. Maybe it's higher than that, or your game will do anything, right? And it's kind of unrealistic that you're just gonna work on the game, make your like magnum opus, and then just like throw it into the sea of like video games and watch it sink to the bottom. Like that sounds depressing. I don't think you have to do the crazy like game jam stuff like I do, but I think you probably should show off your game. And a lot of those games do really well. Like I'm always surprised a lot of times when people are like, "Oh, this is my first," like if I type in devlog 1, I might see stuff I've already seen before. Let's see how big this person is. Also, how old is this video? 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Oh my God, this is a great example, right? This is a random person I never heard before. 1 year developing my dream indie game, devlog 1. I mean, these are always like some of the greatest videos because you really do want to see that progression from day 1 to a year. But this person has 1,000 subs, but they have 1,000 subs after 2 weeks of this video, and this video did 20,000 views, which is super good. Is this their first video too? Yeah. Okay, so this is a great example. I think you should go out there and like make these devlog videos if you're making a game. You don't have to do, this is a little insane to do your 1 year stuff because like you don't want to do a year for every video, obviously. But I think devlogs, number 1 on devlog is like really interesting to listen to and interesting to see like the progression. So I think there's an audience that wants to see it, even if your audience is like game developers too. But I think that helps build your traction. I think that's the way to go. I wouldn't make a game and not talk about it at all. It seems like a death sentence, personally. I really want to get into game dev, but I don't know what type of game to make, and I'm pretty bad at pixel art, mainly with animation. Any tips? Two-Shock, hi, good morning. Oh fuck, I was supposed to leave for work like 8 minutes ago, but listen, we'll be a little late today. Any tips for getting into pixel art? Yeah, there's like pixel art. Let's look at the guy. I watched the guy when I was getting into it. This guy. I think, like, I don't know why you'd ever watch my stuff over this guy if you wanted to learn pixel art. This guy is like a genius. He's insane. Yeah, his videos are like really long form. Actually, funny, he did that Ludum Dare game game jam that I did, and he scored way better than I did. Yeah, this guy's ultra good at art. I feel like he's where I learned a lot of my basics years ago. will be archived on my YouTube. I don't know if it'll be archived. I feel like I'd want it in its own separate thing because it's such a low quality. It's just me like being nervous for the first 30 minutes and then rambling for the next 2 hours. But maybe. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. for me. Yeah, 10:38, and I'm going to work. And I haven't got dressed or anything, so I'm probably fucking myself up. I might get fired. That'd be great. Then it'd be a full time. That'd be a good YouTube video. It's like, yeah, I'm going full time on game dev. Not because I can afford it or it's going well. I'm just unemployed, and that's where we're at. Yeah, this guy is insanely good. Yeah, he did the same game dev, but I would watch his stuff. He has some core. Like I feel like if I go by him and go by popular, how to use Aseprite. Some of this is like really good, and he'll do the kind of thing I would talk about a little bit because I got it from him, where he'll go and like find, there you go, examples. I think you should always do this. You should find examples of things that your target like art is, because otherwise you're drawing in the blind or in the dark. You're not gonna have a good idea of what you want, what looks good. Yeah, and so he did. I know he did a game jam as well. I mean, I know he did this game jam. Yeah, this one was super cool too, and it looks insane. Looks super good. I mean, it's simple, but I think it looks great. This is like a good trick too for like when you draw art fast, to do your backgrounds as all silhouettes, because that way you can do parallax backgrounds. It's what I did for like that pumpkin game. You parallax backgrounds and it looks like really intricate and detailed, but it's just blank silhouettes like that. It saves you so much time. Yeah, I think, what did he score? He scored like, oh, it's not on here. It's called Though I Walk. Let's see. It's not that. It's like MZF, isn't it? I think. There we go. I'll see if I can find where he scored on his thing. But his game was really cool. I bet it's like right up here too. Not overall. Let's do. I mean, not this one. We want the compo one. Was the one where he did in 2 days. Yeah, right up here. Oh my god. So he's 4-8. He's number 12, I think. That's correct. Yeah, overall 12th. That's crazy. I think there were over 300 submissions, and then mine is way the fuck down here. Mine is way the fuck down here, guys. Okay, listen. This is how you know I'm a fake ass game jammer. Okay. I don't remember what game did I do for this. Oh, it's the Unbound. Keep going. Let's see. Oh, it was up here. Okay. So I guess it wasn't that far down. Oh, okay. You know what? No, I was all right. I was what? What is this? I was 31st. All right, fuck it. I'm downplaying myself. I did actually okay. I'll take it. Fuck me. I thought I did way worse than that. All right, thanks. I'm getting more motivation to start getting into coding and filming it. I do have ideas on my channel, but I stopped, and now I wanted to get back into checking it. Back into it. Thanks. Yeah, you definitely should. Why not? Right? I feel like doing this kind of stuff is really fun. And then also, maybe it's because I'm selfish, but when I make the art and make the game, the hardest part is, or the part that's more demoralizing is you make it and you can't show anyone. I feel like that kind of seems like sad, right? I want to be able to show people. Although it is nice when people like it looks good. It would suck to show people and they're like lame and they just like downvote it. So, which sometimes happens. Like, oh, I used to post a lot more to Reddit, and the Reddit/pixelart or the Reddit/Godot. Reddit/Godot is very hit or miss for me, because sometimes I would post content and they're like, this looks great. And other times they're like, what's the point of this? Why would I care? And I'm like, that's true. I don't know why you should care. I'm so sorry. I'll leave now. Like, Jesus Christ. All right. I got to go soon. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should talk about. I don't really talk about anything. But I feel like I've overcome my fears of streaming now, which is really nice. Yeah, I can't believe I got 30. I didn't remember that. Oh, yeah. I thought I got like 131st. I'll be honest with you. But I shouldn't compare it. Okay. It's funny to get fourth on audio because the audio was it's like 14 seconds of a song. Will I stream every day? Most certainly not. But I probably should stream more often. But if I stream every day, I won't be able to work, because the last thing I can do right now is draw in front of you guys. Like, I even have Photoshop up here, and there's like stuff I was working on. But the last thing I want to do is be like, oh, hey, this is how you draw, like whatever. Like, oh, look at me, I'm drawing platforms. Like, no, it's all gonna look like dicks. That's everything. Every time I draw, it's always like, oh yeah, that looks like a awful garbage monster. Thanks, Yusak. I try to will. I will have a good day. Sorry. hope to see me streaming more. Yeah, maybe I will do more streaming. Thanks, I appreciate it. What do I do for work? I'm a dairy manager at a grocery store right now. But I was night crew for a long time. When I got out of high school, I got a job at like a night crew at the same grocery store. And while I was in college, I just did that, and I graduated from college with a 2-year degree, so nothing, barely, like, the smallest degree you could possibly get. But I didn't really like college that much. And I remember being like, all right, I'll try to get a job for my degree was multimedia studies. So I made a resume in Photoshop, like drew up everything. And then I sent it out to one place, to which they immediately called me for an interview. And I nervously put on a suit. I was like 22 years old, or whatever it was, all nervous and scared. And I went in there and, basically sounded like I do now, all nervous. And then they said, like, it was quiet for a couple of days, and they reached back and they're like, we want to hire you. And I was like, nope. And then after that, I was like, oh, why am I ever going to apply to another place if I literally got the job? And I said no. And the reason was I was too afraid. I didn't really know what to do. And I still feel that way. Now I don't know how to do that stuff, but I was doing web design, and I think I knew some Java, but not really. Basically, I was trying to be like a front-end web developer, web designer. But yeah, I remember being like, wow, if I was that scared and I got my first job ever I applied to and I just said no, then why would I keep applying to stuff? So ever since then, I just stayed on night crew. And I was night crew for 13 years at the same shift. It was 4 days a week, 4 10-hour shifts. And I just do it over and over again. Yeah, and then for the last couple of years of it, I was doing art for Lithium. And I bought a laptop. And it's the best decision I ever did. I'm streaming now on that laptop. Everything I do is on this laptop. Which is funny because I always think to myself, anything ever happens to it, like I'd be so devastated. But yeah, and I brought the laptop to work, and in my job, since I was stocking shelves, right, for a living at a grocery store for nights. This is like from 2010 to 2022. And then so what I would do is I would bring in the laptop. The night crew was so small because I didn't need any help that I'd have me and one other kid who was like 18. And I told him, I'd be like, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Because I was technically the boss. I was like the night crew chief. I was like, all you have to do is make sure that your job gets done. And then I don't care how long you take a break or what you do. And he would abuse that like crazy because he's a young kid. So he would go home. He would just go home and say punched in. And he started off really small. He would be like, oh yeah, I just forgot something at home. I'm going to go get it. And I was like, yeah, that's fine for me. And that turned into, oh wow, he's streaming a Warzone right now on Xbox, even though he's technically clocked in and working at this grocery store. Which didn't work out well for me because I was like basically co-signing every decision he made because I was his boss. Yeah. So, but what I was saying with the night crew stuff. So I bring my laptop in, and when he was at home, he would leave and do dumb stuff like that. I would bring the laptop and just set it up and just work on stuff for like, I mean, if I could do my job in like 6 hours, it was a 10-hour shift. So it was 4 hours of like, all right, let's just draw some stuff and try to get something done. Yeah. Well, my premise was always, I liked it if it was very hands off. So I'd be like, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, you kind of sound like my boss. Yeah, so I'd be like, I don't mind what you do as long as you don't get me in trouble. But he was getting to a point where he was like really abusing it. And then sometime in like 2021, they shut down that night crew. They were shutting down like all the night crews. And they were like, all right, we're going to shut yours down too. Do you want to go to days, or do you want to go to this other night crew in the store I'm at now? And I was like, this is a connecting line for all my stories. I always get like too nervous with change. I'm like, I don't want to change. I can't do it. I'm going to be a loser. I don't know how to wake up in the morning or whatever. So I was like, no, just keep me on night crew. I'll do this night crew in the store I'm at now. So they shipped me over there. And then as soon as I got there, I ran into, it was me and one other guy. And then one other guy was my first boss I ever had, like ever, as a young kid. And he was like this old 50-year-old guy. But the thing is, when they put me in the store, this new store, I was his boss. So he quit immediately. He threw his keys up on the table and he was like, I'm done. I'm out. And I wasn't even mean to him. I was just like, oh, it's all cool. Like, I don't want to fight you or anything. It's all good. And yeah, he couldn't handle it. Yes, he freaked out. And then for the next 6 months, they didn't hire anyone for me. So my night crew job, this was like the most depressed I'd ever been in my life. My night crew job was I'd go into work, I'd do a 10-hour shift and there'd be nobody there. And then I would just like listen to podcasts and, and try to figure out what I was doing with my life. I think that those were the moments where I was like, yeah, something's got to change here. Like, this is like ultra depressing. Yeah, so there's more night crew stories, but I can't talk about all of them. It's too much. At some point, maybe I should stream more. I'll just talk about my dumb night crew stuff while everyone asks about Godot. Have you tried Sprite? Yep, I've tried Sprite. I'm not very good with Sprite because it's just I feel like a lot of Photoshop stuff is just I learned like all the hotkeys for like how to bring up the brush and the eraser and like all that stuff. So when I jump into Sprite, I'm always like my muscle memory is to bring up old stuff and it's not there. But it seems like a great program. Actually, you know what it does really well is it seems like it handles animation really well because you can just like I think it's Control E and it'll just like export everything into a sprite sheet. That seems like really useful to have honestly. How long did it take you to learn Godot? It took me 6 months to learn GameMaker. For Godot, I wouldn't say I'm done learning it though. I feel like I only know a couple things, which I say a lot, but I do feel that way genuinely. Yeah, like recently I did a lot of refactoring where you like redo your code to make it not as horrible to work with. And in the process of doing that, I had like that sort of a realization that like, okay, I'm actually not done learning. Like I mean, I always knew that, but you really get to see like, oh wow, like I know this is not the optimal way to do this, but yeah. So I've been doing Godot for about a year now. Yeah, almost exactly a year because I started it, yeah, November last year. So I don't know, I'll just keep going with it. But Godot's great because there's so many tutorials on it for me. I'm sure that's true with most stuff. Hey bro, what tutorials do I watch if I want to make games like you? Yeah, what tutorials did I watch? Heartbeast is probably the best one that I've ever seen for me because I didn't know anything about coding at all. So he's very like slow and methodical. Yeah, his are probably some of the best, especially the old school ones. I'll still come back to him. Like I've watched some of them for the pumpkin game. Yeah, you can see I've watched this one a bunch. The best part about him is he's going to be very slow and very hands-on. Not everything's going to be like the proper way to do it for a large-scale game, but that's not the intent. The intent's just to get you to make a thing and to feel comfortable with all the tools. So that would be my biggest recommendation. And then there's also one called God, what was it called? It's like he has like one of the worst names, but he has some of the best videos. This is all for Godot 3.5. Have I watched Born CG? No. What's Born CG? Let's see. His thumbnails are wacky. I wonder if this works for him. I feel like he's got way too much going on in these thumbnails. But I don't know. Dude, my thumbnails are garbage, so I'm not trying to judge. But yeah, you're never done learning. Yeah, that's true. I agree Godot is a good engine because of how many resources it has. Godot GameMaker doesn't have... Yeah, but isn't so many crazy games made in GameMaker? Was Undertale made in GameMaker? Am I crazy on that? GameMaker. I feel like there's so many like oh wow, we're the same exact age. That's fucking weird. It was, right? Yeah, okay. Hyperlight Drifter, yeah, I love that game. Nuclear Throne. Yeah, it feels like there's so many good games made in GameMaker. I'm surprised there isn't more resources for it. Because I think about Godot and everyone always says there's no like what's like the good game people is it like Brotato, right? That's like the one people point to for yeah, I feel like this is the one people point to for Godot. Which I've never played, so I probably should play it, huh? Man, it does give me Isaac vibes with the art style. It's very like I mean it's the best way possible, but it's like the very like early Flash game looking. Just the art here on the very front. Yeah, it looks really cool. Dome Keeper. Okay, I don't know that one. Is it Doom Keeper or Dome? Oh, it is Dome Keeper. Okay. Right there. It's so weird. I just judged like I'm saying how the art looks cool. Like it really is true. Art matters so much because that's what all I say about. I guess I'm looking at photos of games, but still. Yeah, so it just blows my mind that there's so many good games in GameMaker, or at least a couple like huge ones in my opinion. Like Undertale's huge, right? And then there's no there isn't as many resources. That's kind of crazy to me. Dude, looking at documentation is like a skill. I suck at that. A lot of times, people post like the subreddit for Godot, asking like a basic question, and someone will kind of condescendingly be like, actually, it's in the documentation, and I feel like so dumb that's why I don't ask questions on the subreddit because I've opened the documentation so many times, and I feel like I'm in school again reading, like when you read and nothing's sticking and you have to reread it over again. That's how I feel when I read documentation. Like it's just a skill that I don't have yet. I have no idea how loud this is compared to me, so. Oh wow, that looks beautiful. See, that's all I ever say is how stuff good stuff fucking looks. Graphics matter so much. The music is really good too. Wait, this looks really fun. Or mute it so I can keep reading here. Luckily, GameMaker Visual has really easy to learn, was really easy to learn, and as a result, it took less time to actually learn GML. All right, I'm gonna go no and try learn GD script and try not get fired from your job. Yeah, I'll try not to get fired from my job. We'll see what happens. The cutoff is at noon, so if I don't get there, if I don't do the hood order by noon, then the hood milk won't show up, and then for sure I'm fired. Like it's over. No, I'm not fired. But like, yeah, it would be bad. Oh man. The old owners of GameMaker didn't support it much. Oh shit, that sucks. Wait, Opera GX, isn't that like the? I thought that was a web browser. Opera, am I correct? Maybe I'm losing my mind. Opera GX bought it a few years ago and starting to get more support now. Is my plan to be self-employed? Yeah, I think I have this weird thing where I feel like such an outsider, so it feels like working for a game company, a game dev company would be I'd be like I wouldn't fit, like I wouldn't know what I'm doing. So part of my hope is like, oh, maybe if I'll just keep doing this stuff online. I'm not saying I'll quit my job, but we could supplement it and be like, okay, because right now I would say yeah, it's like I would say money's like ultra tight. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I think a lot about how much time I spend doing the game jam, and then there's like a thought in my head, like a nagging in the back of my head that's like, you know, if I just got like a second job, like this would have been, because like what the Ludum Dare one was a 48-hour game jam, and I think I did. It wasn't. I slept at some point, and I had to work my real job, so it wasn't like all 48 hours, obviously, but it was probably like in the 20s of hours. It's like, man, 20 hours at minimum wage. Like it'd be nice to just have that money right instead, but then I don't know. Then you're not doing the thing you like to do, so. Yeah, if nothing else, I find it really fun to work in these games. So, but it does feel like buying a house is like impossible, or saving up to buy a house. That's the other thing too. Because every time I try to save up money, my car like explodes basically. If you want to export your games to anywhere other than Opera GX Store, you have to buy a monthly lease. Oh shit. Are we all moving over to GameMaker now? That's the plan. You sound like a good salesperson. Yeah, this is great. You're selling me on it. Actually, it's hard for me even to think about leaving Godot 3.5 for Godot 4. So I think I'm pretty stuck in my ways for now. At least till I finish this. Once this game is done, maybe we'll consider changing up to something else. You know, I had an interesting idea for. I was going to mention this before. So we're talking about collabs. I thought maybe I'm crazy. You guys can tell me, but I feel like a really cool idea for a game jam collab. Right? Hear me out. You do a game jam collab with someone, like you and one other person, and you guys agree to like, let's just say like 6 variables, right? You're heading out. All right, I'll see you, high tier mortal. Okay, so this was the idea I had, right? You have you sit on like 6 different variables, like it'd be like health or like it's just some core ideas that are going to carry, right? So like you're like, all right, make sure you have like health, speed, or something like that. Like it doesn't have to be 6, but some level variables. And then you make a game with someone, and you do it with the idea that like they're making a very distinct their own thing. Like let's say they're making like, this is just a hypothetical, right? They're making like some random ass card game, and then at some point in this card game, like once you beat the battle, you ship all of the interesting like variables over, and then like the other person makes a game and they take in those assets. So like it's a card game, and it's like basically 2 games that are taped together by these variables that you're making sure that both teams have. But like you would not communicate very much if you could at all. I feel like that'd be such an interesting idea to have like basically 2 separate games, and then you're basically giving your information from how good you did in this person's game to the other person's, and it goes back and forth in between them. I feel like that'd be so fucking interesting, or it'd be awful and it'd be impossible to do. But I don't know. I feel like that'd be a cool kind of collab to do, but it'd be really intimidating. But then also you could go like really hard in your own ideas, and like you wouldn't be like hampered. Meaning that you could make some crazy wacky thing, and as long as it didn't crash the game, it's like, okay, cool, you got through like, all right, this is like a platforming section. Then when you beat the platforming section, it ships like whatever health you had at the end of that or money that you got from that, and it ships it to this other person's game, and it's like, all right, now you're like running a shop, and like, all right, your health is how much you're stored. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it takes those variables and just applies them to something else. Oh, okay, past the game. Yeah, maybe something like that. That person messaged me, Blackthorn Production. They messaged me on or friend me on Discord, but I'm terrified that they're ever going to message me because their videos are like huge and it seems like an incredible amount of stress. Let's see. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, this is insane. 500,000 subs. Yeah, they friended me on Discord, but I immediately just got anxiety because I was like, oh man, if I ever did one of these, I feel like I would fuck it all up and I would draw some dumb shit. It would be a mess. Yeah. I saw they do this one where it's like you have to make a game in an hour a day. What is it? It's like an hour. I forgot what it was. It's an hour something. It's like 3 different time frames, right? Which seemed a little wacky. I don't know if it's still here. I mean, it is still here, but yeah. It was like the RCS one. I don't know. But, yeah. There's definitely some different collab ideas. Maybe I should reach out and do those. All right, it's 11 o'clock. If I get ready now and I leave by like 11:20, I should be able to go to work and not get fired and be good. But I feel like this was good. I overcame some of my fear of streaming. I have no idea if this video is going to be like saved or anything like that, but it was a fun time. I don't think there's anything else to add. All right, guys. I think, man, what do people say at the end of streams? I don't know. It was fun. Yeah, maybe I will stream more. Alex, maybe I will. I kind of like it. Yeah. Although I don't feel like I could get work done. I don't think I could sit here and draw. Like I said, I think I would be too intimidated. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have some more content and stuff coming up soon. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.